Be me. 28 years old. Work at Thornton Financial, a mid-sized accounting firm. Been here 4 years grinding spreadsheets like my life depends on it. Spoiler, it does. Student loans don't pay themselves. The office is your typical corporate hellhole. Fluorescent lights that make everyone look like they're auditioning for a zombie movie. That one microwave in the break room that smells like someone committed war crimes against a burrito. You know the vibe. My boss is Richard Thornton III. Yes, the "Hree" is on his business cards. Yes, he makes you use it. 49 years old, silver hair, golf tan, drives a Mercedes that costs more than my apartment, treats everyone like we're NPCs in his personal simulation. Richard inherited the firm from his dad, who inherited it from his dad. Generational wealth hitting different when you can't even afford avocado toast. Anon, those reports better be on my desk by 5. It's 4:47. The reports he's talking about need information from 3 departments, 2 of which haven't sent me their data yet. Classic Richard. Everyone at the office thinks I'm a pushover, the quiet guy who stays late, eats lunch alone at his desk, never complains about the impossible deadlines, never pushes back when Richard dumps his nephew's work on me. Yes, his nephew also works here. Yes, nepotism is alive and well in corporate America. What they don't know is I've been documenting everything, every unreported overtime hour, every discriminatory comment Richard makes about the female employees, every time the company accidentally shorted someone's bonus. 4 years of meticulous records, saved on 3 different cloud services. I'm not paranoid, I'm prepared. See, before Thornton Financial, I worked at the Department of Labor, federal investigator. Quit because government pay is actual poverty. But I learned things about employment law, things about what constitutes a hostile work environment, things about paper trails. Richard doesn't know this. My resume says administrative assistant for those years. Technically true. I assisted in administering justice. He never asked for details. Rich people assume everyone beneath them is just background noise. Anyway, this story isn't really about Richard. Well, it is. But it's mostly about his wife, Victoria Thornton, née Victoria Sinclair, 36 years old. Auburn hair, green eyes. Looks like she stepped out of one of those perfume ads where no one actually wears clothes, but it's somehow classy. Married Richard 8 years ago. Trophy wife situation if I ever saw one. She comes into the office sometimes, picks up Richard for their lunch dates, charity galas, whatever rich people do at 2 p.m. on a Tuesday. First time I met her was my second week. I was trying to fix the copier, which was jammed, again, because this company buys refurbished equipment to save money while Richard drives imported cars. You look like you're having a moment. I look up. There she is, smiling, not the fake corporate smile, an actual human smile in this office. Impossible. The copier has personal vendettas against me. She laughs, not a polite chuckle, a real laugh. I'm Victoria, Richard's wife. I figured, I'm Anon, Richard's, I work here, smooth, real smooth. She tilts her head. You hesitated. Most people say their job title like it's their identity. My job title is Associate Financial Analyst. And I'm pretty sure that's not my identity. She stares at me for a second. Something in her eyes, like she's actually seeing me. Weird feeling in an office where I'm basically furniture. I like that. She walks away. Nothing happens for months. I see her occasionally. We exchange nods. Maybe a few words, but it's professional. I'm not stupid. She's the boss's wife. Emphasis on the. Fast forward to the company Christmas party. December 23rd. Venue is some fancy hotel downtown. Open bar. Richard spared no expense. On the tax-deductible company event, our bonuses were still 15% less than promised, by the way. I'm standing by the punch bowl, which is definitely spiked. Kyle from accounting saw to that. Legend. You always stand in corners. Victoria. She's wearing this blue dress, looking like she belongs in a different universe than the rest of us. Corners are strategic. You can see everyone, no one sneaks up on you. Sounds exhausting. It's called being an introvert with anxiety. Ah, common affliction in corporate America. We start talking, really talking. Turns out Victoria has a master's degree in art history. Wanted to be a museum curator. Met Richard at a gallery opening when she was 26. He was charming and persistent. Red flag words if I ever heard them. He said he'd support my career, that I could work wherever I wanted. And then we got married, and suddenly there were social obligations, charity committees, being Mrs. Thornton became a full-time job. She takes a long drink. I haven't worked in 7 years. I don't know what to say, so I say the truth. That sounds lonely. She looks at me, really looks. It is. Richard appears, hand on Victoria's shoulder, possessive, not affectionate. There's a difference. There you are. Senator Morrison wants to meet you. He doesn't acknowledge me. I'm furniture again. We were just talking, Victoria starts. The senator is waiting. He steers her away. She glances back at me, just for a second, something unreadable in her expression. I go home that night, can't stop thinking about her, not in a weird way. Okay, maybe slightly in a weird way. But mostly I just feel bad for her. She's trapped in a gilded cage, and Richard is the lock. After Christmas, things change. Victoria starts coming to the office more. Not for Richard. She says she's volunteering to help organize company events. Richard thinks it's good PR. My wife, always giving back. Gag me, but I notice. She always finds her way to my corner. Questions about spreadsheets she doesn't need answers to. Coffee runs where she happens to be going the same direction. We start texting. About nothing. Everything. Museum exhibits she wants to see. Books I'm reading. The absurdity of corporate life. I know this is dangerous. I know nothing good can come from this, but she's the only person in this entire building who treats me like a human being, and I'm starving for that. February. Richard goes on a business trip, Las Vegas, networking conference. Everyone knows it's gambling, and worse. Victoria knows too. She texts me, I need help with something at the house. Can you come by after work? Red flags everywhere. Alarm bells, sirens, the whole warning system. I go anyway, because I'm an idiot. A lonely, human, connection-starved idiot. Her house is ridiculous. Mansion, really. The kind of place where the front door alone costs more than my car. She answers in jeans and a sweater. First time I've seen her not dressed up. She looks normal, human. Thanks for coming. I know this is weird. It's definitely weird. Richard's business partner sent over some documents I need to understand. Financial stuff. I thought, you could explain them? She's lying, I can tell. But the documents are real, spread out on the kitchen island. I look at them, really look, and my investigator brain kicks in immediately. Victoria, do you know what these are? Some kind of investment portfolio? These are shell company documents. These accounts, they're offshore. Her face goes pale. What does that mean? It means your husband is hiding money, a lot of money, from someone. She sits down, hard, like her legs gave out. I always knew something was wrong. The separate accounts, the whispered phone calls. I thought, you thought he was cheating? Is he? Probably, but that's the least of your problems right now. I spend the next 3 hours explaining financial fraud to the boss's wife, in her kitchen, while drinking her expensive wine. My life has gotten weird. By 11 p.m., we're both exhausted, and maybe a little buzzed, sitting on her fancy couch. That probably costs more than my education. Why do you stay? I ask. At Thornton Financial? With Richard. She's quiet for a long moment. Because leaving means admitting I wasted 8 years, that I gave up everything for nothing, that I'm trapped, scared. She looks at me, and something shifts. The air gets heavier. Danger zone. DEFCON 1. Abort. Abort, abort. I should go. I stand up. She stands too. You probably should. Neither of us moves. Victoria, I know this is insane. You work for my husband. This is literally every workplace nightmare scenario. Among other problems, yeah. But you're the first person who's talked to me instead of at me in years. Do you know how rare that is? I have some idea. We stand there. The worst possible tension. Every movie I've ever seen says this is where something stupid happens. I'm not that guy. I can't be that guy. I really should go. Okay. I'll see you at the office. Okay. I leave. Practically run to my car. Drive home white-knuckling the steering wheel. What am I doing? What am I doing? I don't sleep that night. Or the next. The documents haunt me. Richard isn't just a jerk boss. He's potentially a criminal boss. And I have evidence. Sitting in photos on my phone, next to my texts with his wife. This can only end badly. Spoiler, it does, but not the way you think. March arrives like a freight train of bad decisions. I've been avoiding Victoria at the office. Not obvious avoidance, subtle avoidance. The kind where you suddenly need to be in the supply closet when she walks by. Professional cowardice at its finest. She notices. Of course she notices. Texts me. Did I do something wrong? I stare at my phone for 20 minutes. Type and delete 7 different responses. Finally send, no, just busy with quarterly reports. Lie. Big fat cowardly lie. But the documents won't leave my head. Shell companies in the Caymans. Unexplained transfers. Discrepancies that would make any auditor's eye twitch. Richard isn't just skimming. He's running a whole operation. I start digging, quietly, using my access to the financial systems. The access Richard gave me because he thinks I'm harmless. Never underestimate the quiet guy in the corner. What I find is worse than I thought. Richard's been embezzling from the company's pension fund, not his own money. The employees' retirement savings, people who have worked here for decades. Martha from HR, who is 62 and counting down to retirement. Jim from logistics, who talks about his grandkids every lunch break. Their futures are being siphoned into Richard's offshore accounts. I feel sick, actually physically sick. Run to the bathroom, splash water on my face. Look at myself in the mirror. I have 2 options. Option 1, do nothing, keep my head down, eventually leave this job, and pretend I never knew. Option 2, burn it all down. Option 2 is terrifying. Option 2 could ruin my career. Option 2 could get me sued, blacklisted, worse. Option 2 is the only choice I can live with, but I need more evidence. What I have is circumstantial, enough to raise questions, not enough to guarantee answers. I need access to Richard's personal files, which are on his personal computer, which is in his home office, which is in the house where his wife lives, the wife I've been avoiding, the wife I almost kissed, the wife who deserves to know her entire life is built on stolen money. FML, April. Victoria stops trying to contact me. I see her at the office. She's colder now. Professional smile, the fake one, the one she uses for everyone else. I did that. I made her put her walls back up. I hate myself a little, but I can't involve her in what I'm planning. If this goes wrong, she needs plausible deniability. She needs to be a victim, not an accomplice. Even if she hates me for it, I start building my case, nights and weekends, documenting everything, creating a timeline, identifying the accounts, the transfers, the patterns. My apartment looks like a conspiracy theorist's dream. Papers everywhere, sticky notes on the walls, red string connecting documents. Okay, I don't actually have red string, but I think about buying some. End of April, company announces a restructuring, corporate speak for layoffs, 15% of the workforce gone, effective immediately. I watch Martha from HR clean out her desk. She's crying. 30 years with the company, 3 years from retirement, and now she's being restructured out. While Richard just bought a new yacht, I saw the invoice. Business expense. A yacht for business. Sure, Richard, sure. Something inside me hardens. Whatever hesitation I had, whatever fear, it calcifies into determination. This ends. Richard ends. Even if I go down with him, May. I need those files. I need access to that home office. I swallow my pride. Text Victoria. Can we talk? She doesn't respond for 3 days. Fair. I deserve that. Finally, about what I found, and what I'm going to do about it. She calls me immediately. What are you talking about? The documents you showed me, the offshore accounts. I've been investigating. It's worse than we thought. Silence. Long silence. How much worse? Pension fund worse, employee retirement worse, federal crime worse. More silence. Come to the house, tonight. Richard's at his poker game. We both know poker game means something else. Neither of us says it. I show up at 8 p.m. She opens the door, looks tired, older than the last time I saw her up close. Stress does that. Before you come in, she says, I need to know something. Okay. Are you doing this for justice or for revenge? Good question. I think about it, really think. Both, probably. But mostly because people like Martha deserve better. They worked their whole lives, they trusted this company, they trusted Richard, and he stole from them. Victoria nods slowly. Okay, come in. We sit in the kitchen again. Same island, same fancy wine, different energy. This isn't tension, this is conspiracy. I've been doing my own research, she says. Oh? I'm not stupid. I may not understand shell companies, but I understand patterns. Richard's been different this past year, nervous, snapping at me more than usual, taking calls at 3 a.m. I knew something was happening. And I found his second phone. She pulls out a burner phone, cheap prepaid thing, completely out of place in this house of luxury. I can't get into it. It's password protected, but it's evidence of something. I look at her, really look. She's not the trophy wife I assumed she was. She's not passive. She's been surviving, gathering intelligence, waiting. You've been planning something. I've been preparing for something. I didn't know what. But I knew this marriage was built on lies. I just didn't know how deep they went. And now? Now I want to help. Here's where I should say no. Protect her, keep her clean, be noble. But I'm not noble, and I need her help. His home office, I need access to his computer. I have the password. How? He uses the same password for everything. Our anniversary date, which he forgets every year, but that's a different issue. She laughs, bitter, tired laugh. The password to hide his crimes is the date he married me. There's poetry in there, somewhere. We go to the office. It's exactly what you'd expect. Mahogany desk, leather chair, frame photos of Richard with politicians, golf trophies, ego wall of fame. The computer boots up. She types in the password. We're in. I plug in my flash drive, start copying files, financial records, emails, internal memos, the kind of documentation that makes prosecutors weep with joy. Victoria watches over my shoulder. Is this enough? This is more than enough. This is everything. Then we hear it. The garage door, opening. We freeze. Richard's car, pulling in, at 9:30 p.m., 4 hours earlier than expected. He's home, Victoria whispers. Panic, pure panic. Closet, now. I grab the flash drive, barely finish the transfer. She shuts down the computer. We run. I duck into a hallway closet. She closes the door behind me. Darkness. The smell of expensive coats. My heart hammering so loud I'm sure the whole house can hear it. Footsteps. Richard's voice. Victoria, where are you? In the kitchen, just getting water. Her voice is calm. Actress levels of calm. How does she do that? The game ended early. Morrison had to leave for some emergency. That's too bad. How much did you lose? Very funny. I'm going to my office for a bit. Some emails I need to handle. His footsteps. Getting closer. Passing the closet. I hold my breath. Count to 100. He passes. I hear the office door open. Close. I'm trapped. 10 minutes pass. 20. The closet is getting hot. I'm sweating through my shirt. This is how I die. In a closet. At my boss's house. With stolen evidence in my pocket. My phone buzzes. Text from Victoria. Stay there. I'll handle it. Handle it how? I hear her voice, muffled through the walls. Richard, come to bed. You've been working so hard lately. I can't hear his response, but I hear the office door open again. Footsteps, going upstairs. 15 more minutes. Another text. Clear, back door, go. I slip out of the closet, navigate the dark house, find the back door, slip into the yard, climb over a fence I definitely wasn't designed to climb, rip my pants, don't care, run to my car parked 2 blocks away, drive home at exactly the speed limit, can't get pulled over, not with this flash drive. I get home at 11 p.m., hands shaking, adrenaline crash incoming. I plug in the flash drive, start going through the files. It's all here, everything, the smoking gun, the whole armory. Richard Thornton III is going to prison, and I'm the one sending him there. My phone buzzes. Victoria, are you okay? Yeah, got everything, thank you. Don't thank me yet, we haven't won. No, but we will. Long pause. Then, whatever happens, I don't regret it. Regret what? Any of it. Meeting you, trusting you, whatever this is. I stare at the screen. I should shut this down. I should be professional. I should remember that she's married. Even if her husband is a criminal. Even if her marriage is a prison. I type, I don't regret it either. Send. Immediately wish I hadn't. Too late. June. I make contact with a friend from my DOL days. She's at the FBI now. White Collar Crimes Division, perfect. This is solid, she says, looking at my files. Solid enough? More than solid. This is a gift. Where did you get all this? Does it matter? It might. Chain of custody issues could sink a prosecution. I'm a current employee with authorized access to the financial systems. I noticed irregularities. I documented them. Technically true, the home computer stuff. We'll cross that bridge later. I need to take this to my supervisor. I figured. You know what this means? For you? Yeah, I'm probably going to lose my job. At minimum, worth it. She looks at me. You really believe that? Martha worked there for 30 years. She deserved better. They all did. The FBI moves fast when they want to. By mid-June, they're building a case. Subpoenas start flying. Richard doesn't know yet. But the walls are closing in. I keep going to work, acting normal, nodding at Richard in the hallway. Those reports look great, Anon. Thank you, sir. Meanwhile, I know federal agents are dissecting his entire life. Victoria and I keep texting, carefully, about small things, about big things, about what happens after. I'm going to divorce him, she tells me one night. Because of the fraud? Because of everything. The fraud is just permission, I guess. Permission to finally admit this was always wrong. What will you do? I don't know. Apply for museum jobs, maybe? Remember who I was before I became Mrs. Thornton. I think you'll be good at that. At museums. At being you. It's too much, too close, too real, but I can't stop. July 4th weekend, Independence Day. Ironic timing for what's about to happen. I'm at home, eating leftover pizza, watching fireworks through my window. My phone rings. Unknown number. Is this the individual who submitted documentation regarding Thornton Financial? FBI voice. You know the tone. Practice neutral. Could be telling you happy birthday or that your whole family died. Same energy. Speaking. We're executing search warrants Monday morning. We wanted to give you advance notice. You may want to consider not being at the office. Understood? And sir, good work. Click. I sit there. Pizza getting cold. Fireworks exploding outside. This is really happening. I text Victoria. Monday, stay home. Why? Trust me. Long pause. Okay. Monday morning, 7 a.m. I'm sitting in a coffee shop across the street from Thornton Financial, nursing the worst latte of my life. Watching. 7:15. Black SUVs pull up. 4 of them. Agents in windbreakers. FBI in big yellow letters. They move like a military unit. Through the front doors. I can see the receptionist's face from here. Pure shock. My phone starts blowing up. Group chat from coworkers. WTF is happening. FBI is here. Richard just got handcuffed. This is not a drill. I sip my terrible latte. Watch Richard Thornton III get walked out in handcuffs. His face is the color of old paper. Gray. Defeated. The man who made me feel like furniture for 4 years. Finally getting what he deserves. News vans arrive within the hour. This is big. Pension fund fraud always makes headlines. People love to hate rich criminals, especially ones who steal from retirees. I go home, turn on the news. There it is, Richard's face, mugshot. Thornton Financial CEO arrested on federal charges. Massive pension fund embezzlement scheme. Employees devastated as retirement savings vanish. They interview Martha. She's crying again, but this time it's different. I just want to know why. We trusted him. We gave everything to this company. The anchor nods sympathetically. Cut to commercial. Victoria calls. Are you watching? Yeah. They came to the house, seized his computers, his files, everything. Are you okay? I don't know. I think so. It feels unreal. It'll feel more real soon. Probably. Silence. Thank you. For what? For seeing it. For doing something. For not just looking away like everyone else. I couldn't look away. Not from this. I know. That's why I thank you. The next few weeks are chaos. The company is in free fall. Emergency board meetings, forensic accountants everywhere, employees panicking about their jobs, their pensions, their futures. I get called in for questioning. Expected. I lawyer up. Also expected. My DOL training paying off. You had access to the financial systems. Correct. You noticed irregularities. Correct. You documented them. Correct. Why didn't you report to your supervisors? My supervisor was Richard Thornton. The other executives were his golf buddies. Who exactly was I supposed to report to? The agent nods, writes something down. Fair point. I'm not charged with anything. Whistleblower protections kick in. Technically, I did everything by the book. The home computer stuff never comes up. Victoria's name stays out of it. She's positioned as a victim, which she is. Mostly, August. The company restructures, new management brought in, trying to salvage what's left. The pension fund is partially recovered. Federal insurance kicks in for the rest. Martha won't lose everything. Jim can still retire. Small victories. I resign, can't stay there. Too much history, too many ghosts. Send my letter to the new CEO. Thank you for the opportunity. I wish the company well in its recovery. Professional to the end, even though I burned it all down. September. Victoria's divorce is finalized. Fast-tracked because Richard has bigger problems, like facing 15 to 20 years in federal prison. He doesn't contest anything. Too busy with lawyers. Real lawyers, not the corporate kind. She gets the house, which she immediately sells. Too many memories, none of them good. She moves into an apartment downtown. Smaller, cheaper, hers. We meet for coffee. First time seeing each other in person since the closet incident. Feels like a lifetime ago. You look different, she says. Good different or bad different? Lighter, like you put something down. I did. 4 years of rage. How does it feel? Weird. Empty, almost. I spent so long being angry at Richard. Now that he's gone, I don't know what to do with all that energy. Maybe redirect it towards something good? Like what? She shrugs. I don't know, but you'll figure it out. We talk for hours. About everything. About nothing. About what comes next. I got a job interview, she says. Where? The National Gallery. Curatorial assistant. Entry level. Basically an intern's salary. That's amazing. It's terrifying. I'm 36 and starting over. Starting over isn't failure, it's courage. She looks at me. That look again. The one from the Christmas party. The one from her kitchen. The one I've been trying to ignore. Why do you say things like that? Like what? Things that make me feel like I'm not crazy. Like I'm not wasting my life. Because you're not. You were trapped. Now you're free. That's not nothing. Sometimes it feels like nothing. Give it time. She reaches across the table, takes my hand, just for a second, then pulls back. Too soon, she says. Way too soon. I know. Your divorce just finalized. I know. I was technically your husband's employee. I know. This is a terrible idea. I know. But I don't want to not know you. Even if it can't be, whatever this could be, I don't want to lose you. You won't. October. I start consulting, forensic accounting, helping companies identify fraud before it explodes. Turns out my skill set is valuable. Who knew burning down your employer would be a career move? Victoria gets the job. Texts me a picture of her new desk. Tiny cubicle, shared with 2 other assistants. She's beaming. Happiest I've ever seen her. We keep meeting. Coffee becomes dinner. Dinner becomes walks in the park. Walks become late-night phone calls. We're not dating. Technically, we're just existing in each other's orbit. Her therapist says she needs a year, minimum, before starting any new relationships. Rebound risk, she explains. Makes sense. Doesn't mean I like it. Me neither. But we're doing the mature thing, for once in our lives. November. Richard's trial starts. Media circus. We both have to testify, separately. Our names kept apart. I go first, explain the documents, the patterns, how I found the discrepancies. The defense attorney tries to paint me as disgruntled. Isn't it true you were passed over for promotion 3 times? Yes. So, you had motive to sabotage Mr. Thornton. I had motive to be annoyed. I didn't have motive to fabricate federal evidence. The numbers speak for themselves. The jury nods. Point to me. Victoria testifies the next week. I watch from the gallery. She's composed, dignified, tells her story, the lies, the isolation, finding the documents, not knowing what they meant. She doesn't mention me by name, just an employee who helped me understand. Richard glares at her from the defense table. She doesn't flinch, stares right back. 8 years of submission ending in one look. Beautiful. December. Verdict comes in. Guilty on all counts. Pension fraud, wire fraud, tax evasion, money laundering, the whole buffet of white-collar crime, sentencing in January. But everyone knows he's done. The minimum is 15 to 20, probably more. The news runs the story again. They find Martha. She's smiling this time. Justice was served. That's all I ever wanted. I watch from my apartment. Same window, different feeling. Last year I watched fireworks feeling trapped. This year I watched the news feeling free. Christmas Eve, Victoria invites me over, her new apartment, tiny compared to the mansion, decorated with string lights and hope. I made dinner, she says. You cook? I'm learning, don't judge. The pasta is slightly overcooked. The sauce is from a jar. It's the best meal I've ever had. We sit on her small couch, wine that costs a normal amount, not the fancy stuff from before. Better somehow. 1 year, she says. What? My therapist? She said 1 year? It's been almost 1 year since everything fell apart. Technically it fell apart in July. Technically it fell apart years ago. I just didn't admit it until December. She looks at me. So, 1 year. 1 year? I know we said we'd be mature. We did say that. I'm tired of being mature. Victoria, I'm not asking for forever. I'm not asking for anything crazy. I want to stop pretending I don't think about you constantly. I want to stop pretending this is just friendship. I want to stop being so damn careful all the time. She sets down her wine. I spent 8 years being careful, being proper, being Mrs. Thornton. Look where it got me. Divorced and in a small apartment eating jar sauce. Exactly. But also, happy? For the first time in years, because of you? I don't have a response, not a verbal one. So I do something stupid, something I've wanted to do for a year. I kiss her, finally, properly, the way I should have in her kitchen all those months ago. She kisses back, and the world gets very small, and very simple. January. Richard gets sentenced, 18 years in federal prison, no parole. He will be 67 when he gets out, if he survives that long. White-collar criminals don't do well in federal pen, especially ones who stole from working people. I don't go to the sentencing, neither does Victoria. We watch it on the news. Together, on her small couch. Our couch now. I basically live here. How do you feel? I ask. I thought I'd feel something. Satisfaction maybe. Closure. And? I just feel tired and ready to move on. That's healthy, actually. My therapist would be proud. We've been officially together for 3 weeks. Unofficially for much longer. Her therapist approved. You did the work, you waited, you processed. This isn't a rebound, this is just life. Life. What a concept. February. Valentine's Day. Our first real one. I panic about gifts. What do you get someone who used to have everything and gave it all up? I settle on something small, a print from a museum exhibit she mentioned, some obscure artist from the 1800s. I had to call 3 galleries to find it. She cries when she opens it. You remembered. You mentioned it once, in a text, 8 months ago, and you remembered. I remember everything you say. More crying, good crying, the kind that means I did something right for once. Her gift to me is a frame photo, the 2 of us at her apartment, taken by her coworker at a gallery event. We're laughing at something. I don't remember what. But we look happy, genuinely happy. Not performing happiness, the real thing. This is the first photo I have of us, she says, the first of many. That was incredibly cheesy. I know, I'm leaning into it. March. I get a call from the Department of Justice. They want to give me an award, whistleblower recognition, public ceremony, my name in the paper. You should do it, Victoria says. It feels weird, like I'm taking credit. You are the credit. You did this. You saw something wrong and you fixed it. I had help. Everyone has help. That doesn't diminish what you did. I do the ceremony, shake hands with important people, get a plaque, give a short speech. I just did what anyone should do. I saw people being hurt, and I couldn't look away. Applause, photos, the whole thing. Martha is there. She hugs me after. I knew it was you, she whispers. How? You were the only one who ever asked how my day was. People who ask are people who care. People who care are people who act. I almost cry. Hold it together. Barely. April. Victoria gets promoted. Assistant curator to associate curator. Actual title. Actual salary. She calls me from work, screaming, I did it! I did it! I did it! I know you did. I believed in you. We're celebrating tonight. Obviously. We go to a fancy restaurant. The kind we can actually afford now. Both of us working. Both of us building something. Together. To new beginnings, she says, raising her glass. To earned success. To doing things the right way. To us. We clink glasses. And I realize something. I love her. Actually love her. Not just attraction, not just circumstance, not just trauma bonding over her criminal ex-husband. Real love. The kind that builds things. I don't say it yet. Too soon. Still being mature. Sometimes. May. We move in together, officially. New apartment. Neither hers nor mine. Ours. Fresh start. Neutral territory. Moving day is chaos. Boxes everywhere. Furniture that doesn't fit. Arguments about where the couch goes. By the window. By the wall. The window has better light. The wall has better flow. We compromise. Corner. Neither window nor wall. Democracy in action. That night we order pizza. Sit on the floor. Boxes piled around us like a cardboard fortress. This is insane, she says. Completely. A year ago I was married to a criminal in a mansion. A year ago I was invisible in a cubicle. And now we're eating floor pizza in our apartment. Upgrade? Massive upgrade. June, 1-year anniversary of Richard's arrest. We don't celebrate it exactly, but we acknowledge it. The day everything changed. Do you ever regret it? She asks. Regret what? Any of it. Getting involved? Taking the risk? Me? Never. Not even a little? Victoria. Before all this I was a ghost, going through the motions, angry at the world but too scared to do anything about it. You made me brave. I think you had the brave in you already. Maybe, but you gave me a reason to use it. She kisses me. The kind of kiss that leads to other things. Fade to black. Keeping it PG-12. Use your imagination. July. We take a vacation. First real one for both of us. Beach somewhere warm. Doesn't matter where. Matters who. I'm watching her read on the sand. Big floppy hat. Oversized sunglasses. Completely at peace. So different from the woman I met at the Christmas party. The one with the fake smile. The trapped eyes. This Victoria is free. This Victoria is happy. This Victoria chose me. Still can't believe it sometimes. Stop staring at me. Can't help it. It's creepy. It's romantic. It's both. She throws a handful of sand at me. I deserve it. August. I'm in the bathroom, getting ready for work. When I hear her scream. Not a scared scream. A shocked scream. Different pitch. I run out. She's standing in the bedroom, holding something. Small plastic stick. 2 lines. Oh. Oh no. Oh yes. Oh God. Is that? Yeah. Are you? Yeah. Silence. Long silence. The kind where your whole life recalibrates. We weren't trying, she says. I know. We were careful. Apparently not careful enough. She laughs. Half laugh, half sob. What do we do? I walk over to her. Take the test. Look at the lines. 2 of them. Definitely 2. No ambiguity, no wiggle room. 2 lines. 1 future. What do you want to do? I ask. Because it's her body, her choice, her life. I'm just here. She looks at me, searching. For what? I don't know. What do you want? I think about it. Really think. A year ago I was alone, invisible, furniture. Now I have someone who sees me, someone who chose me, someone who I chose back. I want whatever you want, but if you're asking what I secretly hope, I'm asking. I hope we keep it. I hope we figure this out together. I hope we build something that's ours. She starts crying. Good crying. Definitely good crying. I was hoping you'd say that. September. We tell people. her coworkers, my clients, friends we've made, the life we've built. The reactions are all the same. Shock, then joy, then more shock. Wait, isn't she your old boss's wife? Ex-wife. And you're having a baby? Appears that way. That's a lot. Tell me about it. Victoria's therapist has thoughts, lots of thoughts, but ultimately supportive. This isn't how most people do things. But you're not most people. You've both proven you can handle adversity. Understatement of the century. October. Victoria is showing. Small bump, barely visible. But there. Evidence of what we're building. We're at a gallery opening. Her gallery. Exhibit she helped curate. Her name on the placard. Associate Curator Victoria Sinclair. She took her maiden name back. Fresh start, clean slate. I watch her work the room. Confident, knowledgeable, passionate. Nothing like Mrs. Thornton. Everything like Victoria. Someone asks about the bump. When are you due? April. Congratulations. And who's the father? She looks at me across the room, smiles. That real smile. The one I first saw by a broken copier, a lifetime ago. Him. The man who changed everything. November. We get married. Small ceremony. Courthouse. No fuss. No fancy venue. Just us and a few friends. She wears a simple white dress. I wear a suit that actually fits. We say vows we wrote ourselves. Hers make me cry. Mine make her cry. The judge cries. Everyone's crying. It's a whole thing. I never thought I'd do this again, she says after. Marriage? Trust, hope, any of it. You gave me that back. We gave each other that. December. 1 year since our first real kiss. We're decorating the apartment, our apartment, for our first Christmas. As a married couple, with a baby on the way. I hang the lights. She critiques my technique. Higher on the left. It's fine. It's uneven. It's rustic. It's crooked. I fix it. She was right. She's always right. I'm learning to accept this. Christmas Eve. We're on the couch. Same position as last year. Except everything is different. Her hand on her belly. My hand on hers. The bump kicking occasionally, like it knows we're talking about it. Can you believe this? She asks. Not really. Sometimes I still think I'm going to wake up in my old apartment, alone, eating cold pizza, dreading Monday. And instead I'm here, with you, about to be a father, married to the most incredible woman I've ever met. Smooth. I try. She snuggles closer. The lights twinkle. Snow falls outside. Peace. Actual peace. Not the kind you perform. The kind you earn. Merry Christmas, husband. Merry Christmas, wife. Merry Christmas, unnamed baby who we really need to pick a name for. We have time. 4 months. Plenty of time. You're impossible. You married me anyway. I did. Any regrets? She kisses me, soft, warm, home. Not a single one. Epilogue. April 15th, tax day. Ironic for a former accountant. Also the day my daughter is born. 7 pounds, 4 ounces, dark hair, her mother's eyes, my stubbornness, already apparent. I hold her for the first time, this tiny person, who exists because a copier jammed, and a woman laughed, and a man stood up for what was right. Hey there, I whisper. Welcome to the world. It's messy and complicated and sometimes terrible, but also beautiful, and worth fighting for. Victoria watches us, exhausted, radiant, complete. So, she says, about that title. What title? Got my boss's wife pregnant. What about it? Technically accurate. Technically I'm not your boss's employee anymore. Technicalities. Also you're not his wife anymore. More technicalities. Also, we're married now, so you're my wife. The most important technicality. I look at our daughter, at my wife, at the life we built from the ashes of the old one. Some people would say this story is inappropriate, scandalous, wrong. But here's what I know. Richard Thornton is rotting in federal prison. Martha got her retirement back. Victoria found herself again. I found my courage, and our daughter will grow up knowing that sometimes doing the right thing leads to the best thing. Got my boss's wife pregnant? Yeah, I did. And it was the best decision I ever made. Well, second best. The first was fixing that copier.